5 guys that you must block and delete. Block and delete if you're actually looking for commitment. This commitment could be marriage, it could be to be his girlfriend, it could be to go somewhere. We've already done one on marriage, but this one is a bit of a follow-up for the ones that we forgot. The sexual standard. The last thing you need is a man trying to persuade you to move the goalpost to suit him. If you have a sexual standard about when you are going to be intimate with a man, then it's up to him to respect those boundaries. So if he says, oh, but we're both grown people, why are you making me have to wait? Honey, if you can't understand that this is simply a boundary, I'm just not ready, and we're gonna have to go through some long conversation and we're gonna have to push and pull, sweetie, just tell him, listen, I completely understand. This is not working for me. Goodbye and later. Because we don't need, as women, to constantly be pushing hard against the pursuits of a man's sexual interest in us. Having a man in our lives that has high sexual interest is essential for him being able to continually serve and to give. Men need to have this high sexual interest in a woman in order for them to keep coming and keep going and keep being motivated to pursue the woman. However, when she sets her boundaries and he's incapable of accepting that and starts to negotiate, it's time to keep it moving. Next one is Mr. Follow your heart. Let's just have fun. This is something that men will say when they want to push again against your sexual boundaries. It's follow your heart. Just do what feels right, because they know that when the feeling is over for them, they get clarity and they move on. But you have to understand that if you follow your heart and let them into your life and be intimate with them prematurely, it will not work out that way for you. So it's so important, ladies, that you understand that when a man says have fun, let's just have fun, he is saying, I don't want to commit to you. I want to use your body for pleasure and enjoyment. And when I'm bored, which happens quite quickly with all of the variety of women that a man could be playing with, I'm gonna just move on. Third is the man that says, I only did that because I was mad. I only did that because, I was angry. Well, sir, here's the thing. There will be plenty of times that one will be angry in a relationship. There'll be plenty of times when one will lose it emotionally and become dysregulated. What we cannot normalize in any dynamic and in any situation is a man who believes that his anger justifies him being rude, disrespectful, hurtful, or even violent. This is not acceptable. Whenever we're angry, just as women, we are expected to still maintain our composure even when we're angry, because we are ladies, and find a way of communicating in a high value way. So also is it important for a man to be able to contain his anger and behave in a way that is honoring and respectful. If a man uses his anger as an excuse for misbehaving, this is a man who is not ready to grow up. He is not ready to work on his emotional maturity, and he is not good enough for you. The House of Swans is the new portal for the Black Swan Relationship Academy. The House of Swans is where you will be able to completely access me and those of you who are serious, focused, and committed to your Black Swan journey. In the House of Swans, you will get access to many of the courses in the academy depending on your subscription level, but most importantly, you will get the exclusive courses I am creating only for the women in the House of Swans. So far, we've been talking about the power dynamics between men and women, sharing things that I will never share on public platforms, giving you insight so you understand how power flows between the masculine and the feminine. I'm also sharing about how to be completely and totally unforgettable in the bedroom, how to get a man to be completely and absolutely generous with you. And all you have to do to be a part of this elite society is to click the link in bio. And if you're watching this on Instagram, comment the word swans and a link will be sent to you. Love you lots. The next one is the guy that says your standards are too high. When a man says your standards are too high, what he's simply saying is he is not willing to meet them, and he would rather give you less. It's tempting to believe that actually it is because your standards are too high. Fortunately for you, no one's standards are actually too high. Many of our standards may very well be ridiculous. Many of our standards may very well not be standards. Let's give you an example. I've always said on this channel that saying I need a man who earns this amount of money, 100K, 200K, whatever, 1 million, whatever gazillion you want, it doesn't necessarily mean that that man has actually got the stat. It's not actually a standard. That is a requirement that is arbitrary, because the reality of it is it doesn't mean that he is generous. A standard says I expect, love, and want generosity in a man. This is a standard that can be observed in various ways for various people. A man who doesn't have a heck of a lot can still show up in a generous way, whilst a man who has millions in the bank can be a miser, can be mean-spirited and mean-hearted. I remember telling the story of the millionaire that I dated once, and he was happy to show me all the things that he bought in his big house and his big car and all of these things. But actually, I remember one time he asked me, did I want anything from the supermarket? I said to him, yeah, I'll have some dried mangoes. And I think the bill must have come up to about 10 or 15 pounds at the time. And he looked at me horrified. And he was like, well, this is a lot, isn't it? And I was horrified at him. Clearly, I never saw him again. And I have dated men who are blue collar, who are white collar, who don't earn as much as he did, but are prepared to move and give in generous ways. So generosity is a standard. The amount a man earns is a preference, a requirement that has nothing to do with anything really at the end of the day when it pertains to you, because just because he has it doesn't mean he's going to spend it on you. And so it's really important that we realize that if a man is saying these things, it's time for you to walk away, because if he's not able to be generous, if he's not able to be kind, if he's not able to be chivalrous, then what has he got to give you? Your standards must always be actual standards, not arbitrary, ridiculous things that actually mean nothing to you at the end of the day. Number 4 is the man that constantly speaks about how many options he has. Oh, I've got so many options. I have so many options. Sir, if you have that many options, please go right ahead and explore them. The reality is you are here because none of your options have actually met your standard. None of your options are me. None of your options are worth really pursuing. The reason you are here and investing here is because I am one of the best options you have. So can we please just have a normal conversation like normal people and assume that both of us have options? Because if a man is trying to let you know that he's got options, he's the guy that needs you to feel insecure, that needs you to feel like you're on your back foot before you can actually feel ready and at home and comfortable. Number 5, can I borrow your car? Can I borrow your this? Can I borrow your that? Listen, it doesn't really matter. He can borrow your bin liners or whatever, you know, general things that anybody can borrow. But when a man wants to borrow your car or borrow something of substantial worth, this is not a masculine energy man. This is not a man who can really stand up and do good and great things for himself. If what he wants to borrow, something he cannot afford to buy, own or possess or rent, then really we don't want that guy in our lives. Unless of course we're in a relationship and there's no point in him getting one because you've already got one. You know, I want us to use our common sense here, ladies. But the bottom line is you don't want a man who runs his life, his whole entire life, by borrowing something from you. Eventually he will not borrow it, he will begin to own it. We don't want to entertain this sort of gentleman. And so it's really important that we keep an eye out and really let these things be red flags or certainly flashing amber so that we can make the right decision for ourselves and for our relationship goals. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, do take care of you. Love you lots. Bye. Hey there, Swan. Have you ever considered that it wasn't you who found this channel, but rather this channel found you? The video you're watching didn't simply happen to you, and you didn't just randomly choose to watch it. I believe you're meant to be here right now because you are a black swan, even if you don't realize it yet. You see, the teacher appears when the student is ready. And my dear, I believe you're ready, but are you willing to embrace the rare and exquisite existence? If your answer is yes, and only if it's yes, I invite you to click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and like this video. Let the journey begin.